has started.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nancy Isserlis. As of 6 days ago, I'm the chair of the Public Disclosure Commission. Welcome, everyone. We have one hearing on today regarding potential violation of RCW 4217A 700 regarding the personal financial statement, F1. I'm joined today, and hopefully he won't have to chime in and say much, but I'm joined today by the Vice Chair, Alan Hayward, whose camera isn't on, but I can assure you he's here.
I'm here.
And number of staff from the Public Disclosure Commission. I understand that Mr. Binda, I see that he is in attendance as well. So I'll call the meeting to order. The way that we handle these brief adjudicative proceedings is that staff will present the case, and be sworn and present the case, and then Mr. Binda will have an opportunity to reply and make any statements that he would like in response. So I would call the case on the docket, which is case number 136332 regarding Joshua Binda. And who from the staff is handling this?
Hello, Chair Isserlis. This is Tanya Mercer.
Hi, Tanya. Let me swear you in first so we can get started. Do you swear under the laws of the state of Washington that the testimony that you'll give today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. I've read and reviewed your memorandum, so please state your position and what this case is about.
Thank you. I'm here to present case 136332 against Joshua Binda. Mr. Binda was elected to the City of Lynnwood City Council on November 2nd, 2022, and is a current council member. Joshua Binda was emailed 9 reminder notices about filing an F1 report between March 9 and April 28, 2023. The reminders were sent by email to all annual F1 report filers, and specifically Mr. Binda received his at a personal email address as well as his City of Lynnwood email address. On May 3 and May 4 of this year, 2 complaints were filed alleging that Mr. Binda had failed to file a personal financial affairs statement, an F1 report, for calendar year 2022. The report was due no later than April 15th, but because that day falls on a weekend, the report would have been accepted up to April 17th of 2023. Mr. Binda was notified by the PDC of the complaints on May 5th of 2023. Up until this point, we have not heard from Mr. Binda in response to the complaints, but on May 5th, following being notified by the PDC, Mr. Binda filed an F1 for calendar year 2022. The report was 19 days late. Mr. Binda has a prior violation in 2022 from case 110503 for failing to file an F1 report for calendar year 2021. A brief enforcement hearing was held for this case, and Mr. Binda was given a $250 penalty with $125 suspended if the penalty was paid within 30 days of the September 29, 2022 hearing, and also there were no violations for 4 years. The F1 for calendar year 2021 remained unfiled following the hearing, but it was recently received on May 6, 2023. The penalty has not been paid, and the full $250 amount was reinstated and is currently in collections. Mr. Binda also has a prior complaint from 2021 for failure to file the F1 when he became a candidate for the City of Lynnwood Council. This complaint was closed administratively by staff per WAC 390-37-142 because Mr. Binda, once notified by the PDC, filed the F1 and took the necessary steps outlined by staff in order to avoid further enforcement. Mr. Binda also has outstanding fees of $1,000 in collections for cases 100589 and 100348 at an adjudicative proceeding before the full commission held on January 26, 2023. The commission found that Mr. Binda violated RCW 4217A 445, WAC 390-16238, and RCW 4217A 235 and 240 during his 2021 campaign. As you're aware, RCW 4217A 755 subset 3C requires that a second violation of the same requirement for the same person shall result in a successively increased penalty. Therefore, staff recommends the presiding officer find that Joshua Benda violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file an F1 report for calendar year 2022 and assess a $300 penalty in accordance with the statute. Staff also recommends that the assessed penalty be suspended, provided Mr. Benda pays the unpaid $250 penalty assessed in case 110503 within 30 days of the Commission's order, and that he timely files his 2023 F1 report in 2024. And I'm available for questions.
I do have a couple of questions. I read your report was very thorough. I appreciate that. Thank you for the clarifying comments. So this is the second F1 violation.
It is the
right
second violation, yes.
And then you referenced in your comments today another prior complaint resulting in a violation of not of the F1 section, but of another section. Mm-hmm. And reference that there is $1,000 in collection. Is that $1,000 in collection related to that specific case, or does that $1,000 include the $250 that was imposed from the prior F1 violation?
The $1,000 is in reference to the non-F1 cases. So he has 250 outstanding and $1,000 outstanding.
Okay. And is the $1,000, so the $1,000 has not been paid, and the $250 from the prior F1 has not been paid.
Correct.
But all F1s as of today are current.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have from right now. Based on what Mr. Benda tells us, I may have some additional questions for you, but I'll turn to Mr. Benda. Please turn on your camera if you'd like so we can see you and hear you.
Yes, just give me a second to set up my camera in the right way here. Hold on, it's a little blurry. Is it still blurry? Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay.
And I can hear you. Looks sunny in the background, but the drapery seem to be hiding that. All right, yeah. Let's first start off by putting you under oath.
Yep.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear under the laws of perjury in the state of Washington that the testimony that you'll give today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, you've heard the testimony of Ms. Mercier, and hopefully you've had a chance to read the report that was issued with respect to this potential violation. What would you like to say in response?
Well, yeah, what I'd like to say in response is, well, one, to address the previous fine that has not been paid. I actually, on one of my days, drove down there to Olympia and went to the front desk. I forgot which man was there, but it was a certain man that was there, and I had attempted to pay for this fine at the time, and this was a few.
Can you tell what? Can I ask a question first? When you said you attempted to pay, there are two fines that are outstanding right now. Which one was it?
The one, whatever it was, for the expenditures, the campaign expenditures. I had attempted to pay for the outstanding fine there, but I was told by the gentleman that for some reason the PDC doesn't accept any electronic payment of some sorts, and that if I wanted to pay for any fines, something like that, it would have to be either mailed in or would have to be a check of some sorts. Due to that, I currently don't, well, right now I don't have a checkbook with a bank or any of that sorts or any of that. But I had made an attempt to pay that up there in person and was told that electronic payment was not accepted. And haven't had a chance to mail anything in or do anything of that sort since. And I forgot the man that was at the front desk, but it was a man that I was met with there in Olympia at the
You
PDC.
recall about went on or about that the date that you went to Olympia to do that?
Let me go look 1 second. Give me a moment here. Okay. It was in March. I don't want to say a specific day because I don't want to be wrong, but it was in around early March or so.
Okay. And since the date that you went in there and met the man at the front desk, have you made any further attempts to pay that fine?
Since that had transpired, I had not made an attempt to pay because a lot of things had happened. I'd recently gotten my car stolen, and there's a bunch of other financial burdens I've been put under that I had not been able to pay that since. And so that was what transpired with that. In terms of the F1 filing report or such, I get a lot of emails in my mail. I had not seen this mail about the F1 report until about, I think it was a little bit after 2 weeks or so of the filing or sorts. And once I saw it, I made sure to go in and file for the F1, which was, I think, May 6th or so was the day that was, and that was a little bit after the deadline. And I think at the time I had seen it was common, I think, for other politicians to, or other people to have had late F1 filings. I didn't think it was something as severe in the case of it, especially if it was 2 weeks or so. And so I'm here now because that's the case. But I didn't realize that this is something that would be heavily scrutinized, as it was only 2 weeks after the F1 due date was there. And so once I saw the date, I made sure to file and taking care of that, and was not trying to create any further violations of any sorts moving forward in that way. That's my defense towards that.
Okay, so you tried to pay the $1,000 in March and it is not paid. I just want to make sure I am correct in my understanding. And the $250 fine from the previous F1, part of that was suspended on the condition that you continue to observe and file documents on the date or before they're due. So since the subsequent F1 was late filed, the suspended portion of that fee is now come back, so that $250 is owed. So the total amount that's outstanding right now is $1,250. I see Kim Bradford on I have a question I need to ask of you about procedure in the office. Can I swear you in first? Do you swear under the laws of perjury in the state of Washington that the testimony you will give today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
What are the appropriate methods of payment for fines imposed like this?
It is currently a check or cashier's check. We are working on getting electronic credit card availability for fines to be paid. That has not been set up yet. It's quite a process as a state agency, but it is a check, and I believe that is made clear on the invoices that are sent out by email and by mail.
Okay, so currently we don't accept electronic transmissions by credit card or debit card or anything like that.
Correct. We are working on making that available, but again, it's quite a process and it's not available yet.
And with respect to the $1,000 that's outstanding and the $250 from the prior F1, have those both been referred out to collection?
So I think the $1,000 has not been.
Okay.
The 250 is my understanding. It has been. It's been long enough. It's been longer than the $1,000 penalty.
Okay. Okay.
You'd
All
like to
right,
ask
thank
a
you.
question?
Thank you for the clarification, Kim. Mr. Binda, do you have anything to say in response to what Ms. Bradford has raised?
No, everything she said was basically what the man told me when I was when I went there. So
Do you have access to a bank account now?
well, I have access to bank. I mean, this might sound young of me. I've never written a check or done a check before. I don't have a checkbook or any of that sorts. So the whole checking process is fairly new to me. I usually either do electronic or one of the sorts. But
Do you have a bank account at a credit union or a bank?
Yeah. I have Bank of America.
Okay. Because you can go into any one of those banks and the bank will issue you a cashier's check without you having to write a check yourself.
Huh. I mean, I guess that's something I wasn't aware of. I thought you'd have to get like a checkbook of some sorts and write your check and mail it out or some sorts of that.
Well, that's one way of doing it, but banks will also issue what they call cashier's checks, which is a check drawn on your account, but the bank issues it. And they can make it payable to anybody that you so choose at your direction.
Okay.
So I appreciate that your testimony was that you attempted to pay the $1,000 and went to Olympia, but per Ms. Bradford's testimony, the only methods for payment of fines like this, at least for the current time, are a personal check or a cashier's check. So that's the reality that we have to live with respect to this.
100%. I agree.
Okay. All right, this will be my ruling. I will find this is a specific hearing with respect to an F1 violation for calendar year 2022, which was due on or before April 17th, 2023. I will find that there is a violation by Mr. Binda's own testimony. His report was a couple of weeks late, and while that may sound like not very much time, the deadline is the deadline, and there are thousands of people in the state of Washington who also have to file F1s, and it is incumbent upon you to make sure that you observe the proper deadlines. This is a second violation. I am going to the report was filed on May 5th, 2023, according to the record that I have before me. Other annual F1 filers with missing reports for 2023 were sent warning letters on May 5th saying that they had to file the missing reports no later than June 1st of 2023 to avoid a possible enforcement action and a possible penalty. So you filed your, I don't want to unfairly punish you for something that others might not be punished for. You filed your report late, but it was within the window. So it's technically a violation for a late filing. The penalty would be $300 because this is a second violation. Because it sort of fits in that window there, this is what I'm going to rule. I'm going to suspend the $300 for the 2022 violation if all of the outstanding fees that are owed to the Public Disclosure Commission, which as of today total $1,250, are paid within 30 days from today. And that means you're going to have to make arrangements with your bank to, you have 30 days to get those 2 outstanding penalties paid. And if you do that within 30 days, the $300 fine will be suspended. And further, that you don't commit any further violations in the next 4 years. So I'm giving you an opportunity to clear up the financial obligations that you have at the Public Disclosure Commission right now, and telling you that you need to make sure that you observe all the appropriate deadlines going forward for the next 4 years. I'm assuming you're going to be in office for a little while, so pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
Tanya, is there anything else that needs to come before the commission this afternoon?
Not for me. Thank you.
Mr. Binda, anything further?
No, I think everything was said.
All right, so we can expect that these fines will be paid forthwith. Go to your bank, find out how to get a cashier's check issued. I'm sure they'll be very helpful. There typically is a modest fee to get those issued. But it shouldn't be that difficult.
Chair Isserlis, I would like to add that anything that's with the collection agency does need to be paid through the collection agency, and there could be fees. So,
Okay.
Mr. Binda, we can send you the information for the collection agency so that you can be in contact with them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So the $1,000 is owed directly to the PDC. The $250 from the prior F1 violation has been sent to collections. So please, Tabitha, please be in contact and make the necessary explanations so that the money gets directed to the appropriate places. And the ruling includes all fines and any fees attendant to outstanding penalties, to the extent that there are any owed to the collection agency.
And that was all that was on the agenda, Chair Isserlis.
All right, well then, thank you all. The meeting is concluded.